last month, but we didn't get to it because Rock was here. But it's interpersonal communication. So I'm going to be reading this a little bit, and I read slow now.
That's all right.
So bear with me. But with the onset and development of a vision impairment, oftentimes interpersonal relationships begin to suffer. A lot of times the reason is different things. It's like when you don't have any vision. Vision is a big part of our lives. When you start to lose your vision and things like that, people may say they understand and they feel you, but really, unless you go through it, you really can't understand. You really can't feel what the person is going through. A big part of interpersonal relationships is communication. You guys, anybody want to tell me what communication is? You guys know what communication is? A good definition? Try. What's your definition of communication?
Convey an idea or thought, or I would say expressing one's emotions, feelings, just whatever you feel on a subject in some kind of way that other people understand exactly where you're coming from and what you're saying.
I'm going to pick on him a little bit so he can be like an example, because with him being like totally blind, he's going to be my example today. Okay, communication is the way we interact with others, like you said, in the world around us. Receiving and processing and sending information to exchange thoughts, feelings, wants, ideas, and to monitor changes in our environment. So, hearing that, a lot of it you think, well, when I hear communication, I always think verbally. But communication involves hearing, sight, stimulation. It involves a little bit more than that. This is the same thing. We communicate through many different ways: touch, sight, hearing, smell, speech, writing, gesture, and reading. When you're visually impaired, the aspects of communication that is affected the most is sight, and it's the gesturing, the body language, because I could say, I don't know if you guys can see me. That is a nice coat, and from the way I looked, did it look like it was a nice coat? I was laughing at it, right? That's a nice coat. And he may be like, thank you, I got a nice coat. And reading, somebody, maybe if you're in a concert or something, somebody writes something down, hand it to you, you can't see you to read, so those kind of forms of communication aren't helpful with a vision loss.
I think also, too, that a lot of times it puts people on edge when they speak to you, especially when you're like in my situation where you can't see at all, that either they get really oversensitive about the words that they use, like, did you see? Oh, I know you didn't see that movie on TV. Oh, I'm so sorry. Or the reverse of it, and they'll say, did you see that bus down there? Oh, you didn't see that bus down there. I think that, a lot of people always ask this question, is it better to be born blind or become blind? I think it's better, in my case, that I became blind as opposed to being born blind, just on the fact that if you describe something to me, I can get a visual idea of it. Like if you say, oh, that car's a sky blue, I remember what sky blue is. But if you were talking to somebody who was actually born blind, they would have no concept of what sky blue is. And there's no way to really demonstrate what does sky blue feel like, what does red feel like, So communication a lot of times for totally blind people is a lot of guessing, a lot of guesswork about things. That over there looks like it's black and gray and purple. Okay, I have no clue what those colors would mean,
What that over there is.
Right.
That's another thing, too. Even with being visually impaired, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but asking for directions, going to a hospital. Hospitals are so, overwhelming for me because I say, okay, where is this room or this floor? Okay, you have to go right down here and make a left and then turn this way and turn this way. You'll see this big orange thing, and you're just sitting there like, okay, can you call somebody, to help me? You have to kind of think out the box when your vision is failing and when you don't have vision. If I'm going to be dropped off at the hospital, I don't have anybody going to my appointment with me, what things can I do to get to my appointment safely? How can I get there? Usually your best bet is going to the desk and saying, you know what, I have vision problems. Can you help me get to this area? A lot of things, like, too, I had to mail something to FedEx. So they dropped off like a little, the little labels you put in envelopes. I had to squinch. My eyes weren't doing good that day. So I'm like, oh. So I just told the guy, I'm visually impaired, so it'll take me a while. He's like, oh, you know what? I'll fill it out. I never thought about just giving it to him, asking him, can he fill it out? And other things that happen, you guys can share with any experiences, too. But I remember being up at Walgreens, and I had my cane. I had my magnifying glass, but I guess the gentleman didn't see my cane. So I'm doing like this, and he goes, ha, 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 you need glasses. And I'm like, I'm legally blind. Glasses don't work for me.
Did you tell him?
I told him. I said,
what did he say then?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. A lot of times people, when you have a little bit of eyesight, they don't understand that because you may be walking and you may bump into them. And they don't understand, well, why can't you see me? Not understanding, I don't have any vision on this side, so I don't see what's going on over here. They may say, well, why don't she just get glasses? She got a magnifying glass. She can't afford to get glasses. Glasses don't work.
Help.
If I could get some glasses, believe you me.
You'd have.
I know I have like 4 or 5 glasses, but the thing that have you guys, can you guys think of any kind of like,
I have the fear now that people can tell that I can't see well, and I'm beginning to get a fear of going out alone. I can still, like you said, on sunny days it's okay, but I know that people can. I'm so slow in what I'm doing that I just have a fear that somebody might take advantage of me when I'm out by myself.
Oh, yeah.
Some people do, but this is the thing too. It's like when you get to the point, you're not legally blind, are you?
Just in my right eye.
Okay. When you get to the point when if your other eye begins to fail and you become legally blind, I think even when you get even before that point, I would contact the sight center, let them know. Once you get to 2100, you can get the cane, you can get training with the cane.
That's what I'm afraid of. I have a fear of people knowing.
Right. That's it. Right.
That's what everybody experiences.
Did you get over the fear of
walking? You know what? It's like, I'm just speaking on it, but it's like, you don't, as far as me, you don't want that mark. Everybody's going to know I'm blind. They're going to look at me and, what if somebody tries to rob me? What if somebody tries to attack me, and what if I can get lost in the store? And I still have that one, What if I can't find my way? It's a step-by-step process. I can't say, oh, you'll be fine, because everybody handles it differently. The best thing I could say is that it's good that you're thinking ahead and that you're like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? And you're not saying, well, I'm just going to get my sight back. I'm going to sit in the house until my sight comes back. Because a lot of times that's not going to happen. But you have to take baby steps. And I would say you have to just get comfortable with yourself and your vision loss. You have to begin to accept it. You have to begin to understand it. You have to begin to understand what may happen, the processes, the emotions, all the things that you may go through. And it's a continuing adjustment process, And as far as taking baby steps, if you're out, I don't know if you drive, if you have someone with you.